In a world where beauty is worshipped and silence hides deep pain, one girl was laughed at, forgotten, and called a curse. But on the night she ran to the shrine, barefoot and broken, something ancient woke up. This is not just a story of shame, it's a story of truth, spirits, and of a fat girl the gods refuse to ignore. Watch till the end, because what happened in that shrine will break your heart and open your eyes. The heart of Okpa village, where stories were carried by the wind and judgment sat in every compound, lived a girl named Osaru. From the moment she could walk, people whispered about her body. She's only 5 but already looks 10. That one eats too much. Her mother must have angered the gods before dying. Osaru was born large. By the age of 12, she had broad shoulders, thick arms, and legs like yam tubers. The village children called her names, Ogboko, elephant, obese witch, thunder thighs. The pain dug deeper than the words. But she never shouted back. At home, her life was no better. Her stepmother, Mama Inoma, treated her like a servant. "Why are you so slow, fat pig?" she would bark. "Do you want to eat the entire yam barn?" Her father, a once proud palm wine tapper, had grown silent over the years, his heart drowned in alcohol and sorrow. Ever since Osaru's real mother died giving birth to her, the house had become a place of resentment and grief. Yet Osaru still loved her father. Every morning, before others wake up, she would rise to clean the compound, carry water, and boil herbs for his aching limbs. She worked until sweat soaked her wrapper and tears mixed with dust on her cheeks, but she never complained. At school, things were even worse. On one unforgettable day, during the village inter-school storytelling festival, Osaru stood up to share her tale. Her voice was soft, but powerful. She told of a river spirit who lived in the body of an unwanted girl. The crowd was silent, hanging on her every word, until one boy from another school shouted, "Maybe the spirit is in her stomach. So big like calabash." Laughter broke out. Even some of the teachers laughed. Even the judge smiled and shook his head. Osaru didn't cry. Not that day. She only walked off the stage slowly, barefoot, with dust clinging to her ankles and shame filling her lungs. But that night, she didn't go home. She walked to the old shrine near the forest edge, where the village said strange things happen at midnight. She knelt before the rough stone idol, held her hands together, and wept silently. "Why did you make me like this?" she whispered. "If I am a mistake, then end me now. If I am meant to be like this, then make it worth something." No one heard her cry that night. Or so she thought. But something did. A faint wind moved. The firewood hissed though no one lit it. And the carved eyes of the shrine statue seemed to wave with light. As Osaru laid her head on the cold earth and fell asleep from tiredness, the village clock hit midnight. Something ancient had awakened. Osaru slept on the cold shrine floor, her body cuddled up like a forgotten child. Her face was covered with dried tears. The wind outside had stopped. Everything was still, too still. Suddenly, the air inside the shrine thickened. The clay walls seemed to breathe. The small clay idol of the goddess Adbomwan, a forgotten spirit of mercy and vengeance, began to glow faintly. The fire Osaru had not lit switched to life, casting dancing shadows all around. Then came the voice. Old, soft, yet heavy with power. "Why do you cry, child of the earth?" Osaru stirred, her eyelids moved up and down. She was no longer asleep, and yet she was not fully awake. She opened her eyes and saw a figure seated across the fire. An old woman, skin as dark as ash, eyes as white as river stones. She wore nothing but a long robe made of woven palm fronds and red beads. Her hair was grey and wild, like a storm cloud. Who are you?" Osaru whispered, trembling. The old woman didn't answer. Instead, She reached into a calabash and brought out a small black bead, shiny like coal and warm like sunlight. "This is not your curse," she said. "It is your covering. Your fat, your silence, your tears. The world does not see your power yet. But the gods have seen it. I have seen it." She tossed the bead through the flame. It didn't burn. It floated, hovered in the air, then gently dropped into Osaru's lap. Osaru looked at it, confused. "What do I do with this?" she asked. The old woman leaned forward, and for the first time, her face twisted, not with anger, but with truth. "When your tears fall again, in truth and not weakness, this bead will break. And when it breaks, the gods will rise." Before Osaru could speak, the fire flared with a loud crack. She shielded her eyes. When she looked again, the old woman was gone. Only the bead remained in her hand. The next morning, Osaru woke with the bead clutched in her fist. She looked around, no sign of the woman. The fire was dead. The air was normal. Maybe it was a dream. But the bead was real. That day, when she returned home, everything had changed, but no one knew yet. That same afternoon, the school bully who had mocked her, the one who had called her Ogboko, fell from the mango tree, breaking his arm. That evening, Mama Inoma's eyes turned red and itchy. By morning, she could not see. The village filled with gossip. Is it a plague? Did someone offend the spirits? Why does this bad luck follow only those who mock that fat girl? But Osaru said nothing. She simply sat in her corner, quietly staring at the black bead. It still hadn't broken. But it paused. Like a heartbeat. Like it was waiting. The village of Okpa began to tremble, but silently, like a house with termites. The days that followed Osaru's visit to the shrine were strange. Too strange. Too sudden. It started with the itching. Then her vision blurred. By the third day, Mama Inoma screamed out in the middle of the night. "I cannot see. Oh gods, my eyes. My eyes." Osaru's father staggered out of his hut, confused and drunk. He lit a lamp. Mama Inoma waved her hands in the air. She couldn't see the flame. The next morning, she was rushed to the herbalist. "It's not natural," the herbalist said. "It's not sickness. This is judgment." Meanwhile, at school, Ero, the boy who humiliated Osaru during the festival, returned with a bandaged leg and arm. He limped as he walked, face bruised. "He fell from a mango tree," his mother explained. "But it was strange," he said. He saw something push him. What did he see? A fat girl. Glowing. Smiling in the branches. The teachers laughed nervously. But the villagers didn't. Someone whispered, "The fat girl. Osaru, she's the one. The shrine girl." Then came the school teacher, Miss Obazil, the one who chuckled when Osaru was mocked on stage. One morning, she walked into the classroom and couldn't speak. Not even a whisper. Her voice was gone. Completely. They took her to the prayer house. To the shrine. To the bush. Nothing worked. She wrote on a slate with trembling hands. "Tell Osaru I am sorry." Now the villagers began to watch Osaru differently. Some crossed to the other side of the road when she passed. Children who once mocked her now greeted her with forced smiles and low voices. But Osaru said nothing. She didn't boast. She didn't gloat. She didn't even cry. She only held the black bead tightly in her palm every night and whispered, "Is this justice or revenge?" That night, as the moon hung like a silver eye in the sky, Osaru sat at the shrine again. Alone. She held the bead in her palm. It was warm now. Glowing faintly. Almost like a heartbeat. Then the wind blew gently, and she heard the voice again. You have not asked for vengeance, but the truth walks ahead of you. The voice was the old woman's again. But this time, Osaru wasn't afraid. Why me? She asked quietly. Why was I chosen? The wind whispered back. Because you cried in truth. Not to destroy, but to be seen. The next morning, the elders gathered beneath the great tree. They murmured about signs, curses, and prophecies. One old woman stood up and said, "It is not a curse. It is correction. The girl we shamed has become a mirror. When the heart is pure, even pain becomes a messenger. And when silence speaks louder than screams, the spirits listen." Fade to black. The screen pauses once, like the beat. Backhand index pointing right. If this part 1 of this story touched you, don't leave without subscribing. Her journey has just begun, and what comes next will shock you. Folded hands. Like this video if you believe everyone deserves a second chance, even the forgotten ones. Drop a comment below. Do you believe in destiny? Bell, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss part 2. It's darker, deeper, and even more powerful.